This short webinar will cover choosing a topic and developing your thesis statement. This is really the basis from which you will jump off with task 1. So it's important for you to really give some thought into the topic that you choose, and then once you choose that topic, how to develop a really effective thesis statement. So to start, the requirement for your topic is that it must be research-based. So remember that you are required to have a minimum of 3 to 5 sources to support the information that you provide in your outline. So this should be a topic that you can have wide access to information that is citable in your presentation. Try to avoid choosing topics that you might know just information on through personal experience, or that you might just have a vague understanding of through, again, just your own experiences. This could be a possible topic if you're able to go in and do research and find the same sources to support what you already know. But if it's something that is a little bit more of a nuance or idiosyncratic, you might want to avoid using it. When you choose a topic, there's many different options that you can choose from, and with that, that can also be a challenge because there's so many different ways and directions that you can choose to go while developing your topic. So I've listed a couple of questions that you can ask yourself here at the bottom if you're having trouble really pinpointing a topic that you want to use, or even narrowing down maybe a list of possible topics that you've already written. So the first is, how extensive is a topic? One important thing to remember is that this is a limited timed speech in task 2. So you have 5 to 7 minutes to complete the entire speech, plus cover your 2 questions and answers of the 3 that you developed in task 1. So you're really thinking about maybe 6 minutes around there for your full speech. The second question you can ask yourself is this topic rooted in research? Again, this is a research-driven project, so it's really important for you to have substantial evidence that you can use to support the different pieces of information within your outline. If you're having trouble finding research to support your position, then it's probably a good idea to maybe change directions or change topic. The third question you can ask yourself are, what are current issues that are meaningful to you? A lot of people will oftentimes go onto a news website such as CNN.com or usnews.com and look up the current issues that are within the world. And so it's internationally, it can also be domestic. It can also be regional. So if there's information within your own area of the U.S., you can certainly use that as a topic for you to explore further. Another question you can ask are, what are some curious topics that you've been wanting to explore? So maybe things that do affect you, but you haven't quite had the time to look into them further. You can definitely use this as an opportunity to do so. And the last one is, what topics are related to your area of study or future career? So many students do take that option of using information that they are familiar with because it's in their course of study. It's what they're studying and going to school for. So this is typically a good route to go because it is something of interest to you, and it's likely something that will benefit you in the future. So once you've looked at some of these questions and maybe asked yourself to think about the topics that you have listed, this is a great way to kind of narrow them down. If you want further feedback, you can certainly contact one of us course mentors, and we'll give you as much feedback as we can in terms of which route to go with selecting a topic. The other thing you might want to do is, if you narrow down your list to 2 or 3 different topics, is to do some preliminary research on them and really look to see that you have enough support within research to develop a full presentation. So that could also be a way to skim down your list. So once you've found your topic, the next thing that you will have to do is create your thesis statement. And your thesis statement is really the crux of your entire speech. It's like sort of the byline that you would have of what your speech is going to cover. So the thesis statement should include 1, a main claim, and 2 to 3 supporting major points. and 2, indication that your information is research-based. So these are 2 important aspects of the thesis statement that helps to support what the requirements are for the topic. So the main claim of your statement is what you believe to be true, essentially. So it's what your assertion is. And I will give an example here in a moment, but it's basically what is the main point that you're trying to get across to the audience. Your major points, however, or supporting points, will support your claim with research-based evidence. So these major points are basically giving reasons as to why your claim is true. So, you want to think of at least 2 to 3 reasons that the main claim that you're trying to basically get your audience to accept is true. So when you write your thesis statement, we really suggest that you use a sample in Module 1.3 of MindEdge. And as a side note, the examples in MindEdge are directly correlated to what you have in the rubric, so it is really to your advantage to use them as templates. You don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel by doing something really different. You do want to keep to the format that they're giving you, so that you're ensuring that you're going to meet the requirements for the task. So that sample I've written here in Module 1.3 basically says that research suggests that main claim, so what you believe to be true, because of major point 1 and major point 2, which are reasons for why your claim is true. And again, you can have 3 major points, so if that was the case, you would just tack on a last major point to that sentence. So it's a really simplistic statement. You do not want your thesis to be over complex. You want to make sure that it's clear, concise, and straightforward, and provides the reviewer and audience a good indication of what you're about to cover in the rest of your speech. So a couple of tips to keep in mind when you're writing your thesis is, again, follow the sample as a template, the sample in Module 1.3, or something very close. Sometimes students will not use the word because. They might use as or such as, other types of conjunction types of terms to link the main points back to the claim. Make sure you use one statement, not multiple statements. So this is one clear, concise sentence. You don't want to break it down into multiple sentences, because then it will break the format of allowing those simple major points to go back and support your claim. It can get more confusing as well when you have multiple statements. The next is to avoid overcomplicating your statement. So you don't want to include too much information in your thesis statement. You want to make sure that you're only providing enough information to allow your audience and the reviewer to know what you're about to cover. You don't need to provide very many details. You have all the time in the world to expand upon them in the main points. You just want to be as concise as possible in the thesis statement. Stay focused. This is also one thing that is really important. Oftentimes in your thesis statement, you might want to try and cover as much information as possible. So this makes it increasingly difficult to stay focused, but really try to bring yourself in and just focus on what those clear, supporting points are, and provide, the support for the clear claim, because that really will help you to develop as clear of a thesis statement as possible. And also with staying focused is that this is a 5 to 7 minute speech, so you don't want to feel like you're going to cover everything on that topic. You're only selecting a sliver of that topic and basically presenting on it. So if you provide something in the thesis statement, try not to veer off on a tangent in the actual outline. You want to stay focused on just those particular main points that you've chosen. And also a tip is think of topics that can easily be broken into parts. And a couple of good examples of that are like any type of benefits or any type of situation or claim that would have several problems with it, or maybe several different sections that you can break it down into. That will usually be helpful because you can easily break several benefits, for instance, as main points to support your thesis statement, your claim. You can also think of several problems or issues that are causing an overall issue, and those different problems would serve as major points that support or give evidence to your main claim, which is an overall issue. So think of how you can break down your topic based on using different types of major points that are sort of related. So here I have an example topic for you. So the example topic is fine arts in school. The thesis statement that we've developed here using that 1.3 sample is research suggests that there are great benefits to teaching fine arts to children in early elementary because of maximizing brain development and motor skills, as well as improving attitude towards school from an early age. So I've highlighted in different colors the different aspects of the thesis statement. So the claim is that there are great benefits to teaching fine arts to children in early education. This is the assertion that you find to be true. This is the overlying important aim that you're trying to provide to your audience, that we should teach fine arts in elementary school. Now, the first main point is that it maximizes brain development and motor skills. So this is one reason as to why that claim is true. It's why, maximizing children's brain development and motor skills is a great reason to why there are benefits of providing fine arts to children in early education. A second main point or reason why we should teach fine arts to children in early education is that it improves attitudes towards school from an early age. So children, are able to have a more positive attitude towards school because they are engaged in activities in the fine arts. So these are two specific reasons that you're providing as evidence for why your claim is true. Now, when you get to the outline, this will become very systematic. So you'll have your thesis statement in the introduction. You'll provide 2 points in the preview, and those 2 points again would be maximizing brain development and motor skills, and the second main point would be improving attitudes towards school from an early age. Those same 2 main points that you preview are going to each be expanded separately in the body of your outline. So in the first main point, you will break that down and provide several subpoints. And everything under that main point will just cover brain development and motor skills. In the second main point, you'll have another section that also has subsections. And again, the subsections will provide information that supports improving attitude towards school from an early age. And then finally, in your conclusion, you will have a summary of main points, which will again state those two same main points that you've been basically carrying through the entire presentation. So you don't want your claim as another main point. You'll basically weave that information through main point 1 and main point 2. So as you're talking about main point 1 with maximizing brain development and motor skills, you'll be weaving in why that is a great benefit to teaching fine arts in elementary school. So there's no need to have the claim as a separate subsection in the body of your outline. And again, I'm kind of going through this verbally, but if you want, you can go to the sample outline in module 1.7.1 and see how the formatting of that outline matches up with this thesis statement and the format of this thesis statement. So hopefully this example is a good way for you to kind of visualize what you need to do in your own research project. You can certainly let us know if you have any questions. Sometimes there are small modifications that you can make to this, and with our feedback we can let you know if that's still acceptable for the presentation. But as I mentioned earlier, it's really important for you to stay as close to the example format as you can, as it's part of the rubric. It's directly correlated to the rubric section.